Hello everyone, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the coming week in the forex market. And I'm gonna start right off here with the pair AUD JPY. I like to do a top-down analysis, so we're gonna start on the weekly time frame with weekly candlesticks. And what we see here is that we are pretty much in an ongoing downtrend here. We had the break out of the zone last week, but then we got this kind of doji candle rejection here. As we see, this very often led to a reaction into the other direction. So we had sells here. Now we could expect a buy. However, if we go down to the weekly or to the daily time frame, we see here that we have a rejection of this area of interest and near a round psychological level, the 94 level, which is a really strong level. Round psychological levels are very strong. I like to trade them. I use them in my strategy, which is basically a break and retest strategy. However, we also see here that we have the 93 level being rejected here with kind of a doji candle. We go down to the 4-hour time frame. We can see that we're not really creating new lows here. It's kind of creating an inverse head and shoulders, and this is very often a reversal sign. However, doesn't have to be one. I would like to see how this candle is, or the price is going to reject off of that level again, and then enter a potential short position here. However, I do see that we could turn bullish now and probably retest the 95.5 level again, or even have a complete trend change. But we don't know, so we're gonna just observe what the price is gonna do here in the market. Alternatively, I would trade the breakout with the retest here, preferably on probably the 4-hour. But yeah, right now we have the weekly being bearish, the daily being bearish, and the 4-hour potentially bullish. I'd like to have two of those major time frames in sync in order to trade, but this time it looks like we could actually have a reversal or even a continuation to the downside. Now, next one is going to be AUD USD. What we see here is that we kind of created this evening star formation here on the weekly time frame, weekly candlesticks. We grabbed a bit of the liquidity here, but what we see is that the weekly candlestick recently closed above this round psychological level and above this area of interest, and created a really nice wick that we might fill in the coming week now. On the daily time frame, we see here the break and the retest, leaving with not really a really clean evening star, which is a good sign, because with this long wick, it's kind of, for me, a relatively weak evening star. So we might see actually buying power and pressure coming into the market here again. But since it's Sunday right now, I wouldn't take this trade right away. What I'd like to see, especially in the low time frames, that we are testing this level here again, grabbing a bit of the liquidity that's under this level, pretty much as we did here, because it's the beginning of the week, and then I would enter with the proper entry signal, the shifter structure. I like to enter a buy position here, with the first profit target being about the 0.64 level, maybe a bit below, but this is going to give a relatively good risk reward ratio. So that's AUD USD, and my next top trade would be Euro CHF. What we see here on the weekly is that we kind of had a structural shift. The weekly candlestick closed above this recent area of interest here and around psychological level 0.95, leaving a giant wick here, which we are probably going to fill fill this week. The euro has gotten quite strong in the last couple of days, even when you look at the economy. And what I'd like to see is a little wick down on the daily time frame. It's actually just a normal retest of this level, kind of peaking below it to get some of that liquidity, and then it's going to be a really nice long position here to the upside, with the first profit target of probably being somewhere around this level here. If we look at the weekly time frame, we even see that it's kind of an inverse head and shoulders as well. When we invert the scale, you see it much better. We have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder here, and we broke the neckline, so now we are waiting for a retest and then for a fill of that candlestick. And those head and shoulders patterns are usually very strong. They show a reversal pattern or a potential reversal in the market, which I'd really like to trade, but I'd still like to see the 0.95 level to be tested again, maybe a peak below, and then with the entry signal and shifter structure, I would enter a long position here. Next pair is going to be Euro JPY. Pretty much the same. We turned structure-wise bullish here. We broke the recent lower high here, which is considered a lower high if you invert the scale. It's actually just a higher low that we broke here, so we have the shifter structure on the weekly, meaning that it's potentially turning bullish now. And if we look at the daily, we see that we have the break, we have a retest, even testing the 50 EMA that I like to use, and I'm looking for potential buys here. However, since the beginning of the week, I'd like to see a little move to the downside again, maybe with a peak below, and then with the shifter structure, I'm then interested in buys here around this round psychological level. So that would be for Euro JPY. Now my next trade is gonna be, with the next pair I'd like to trade this week is Euro USD. We see that the euro has gotten really strong compared to the US dollar, which has created, if we look at the weekly and invert it again, because it helps us to recognize patterns, we see here that we have this head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders now. Now what I would like to see probably on the weekly is kind of a wick up here, retesting this neckline here, or this zone, this round psychological level, and using this round psychological level to then enter buys. And if you don't reach that and I get my shift structure and entry signal earlier before, then it's going to be around this 1.07 round psychological level here. So I'd like to see this level being retested, rejected, and then I'm interested in buys here for the Euro US dollar pair. Now next is going to be NZD USD. What we see here is essentially that we are on the weekly pretty much in a strong downtrend. What we have here on the daily, however, is kind of a distribution, I would say. It's kind of a consolidation in the market. However, we have this interesting area here, also around psychological level, which we broke, and we have tested it again. We closed here with, in my opinion, a really weak evening star, which is why I'm here interested in taking a long position. I would like to see a little wick below here again, taking some of that liquidity, and then with a strong rejection to the upside to then be interested in buys. However, I would like to see that happen either during London session or the New York session on Monday, but I'm not gonna enter right away. However, this is looking this is looking to start to become really bullish. However, it could be a pattern like this here, that we have the wick below. We have this very strong for our morning star formation here, and then we might not actually reach the profit target here. Goal is to have at least a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, and we'll see if that is possible. If it's not going to reach that level, then that's also fine, but I'm only going to be interested in the buys here as soon as we have, as soon as we are in session, get a shift of structure here and potentially another retest of this area. Now the next trading pair is going to be USD JPY. What we see here on the weekly, that we've kind of shifted the structure. We closed below this recent area here on the weekly time frame. So what I expect this week is maybe a rejection and a retracement to this level again to test it. Same pretty much happening on the daily. Maybe in 1 or 2 days we are gonna retest this level here, then have the rejection with my entry signal, and then I'll be interested in selling this pair. Profit target is potentially quite big here. I could see price going as low as 142 down here, with it being another around psychological level, so to this area, which would give me a really big risk reward ratio. So we have here a 1 to 4. That would be the ultimate goal, but I like to see price coming back into this area, being rejected here, maybe taking out some of that liquidity sitting over there. And then I'm interested in sells in my USD JPY. Last pair is going to be USD CAD. What we see here on the weekly is that we are fairly bullish with it. We have the break and a retest of this area here, and we close with a really strong morning star on the weekly time frame. We have taken some of this liquidity here last week, so on the daily it's also looking very bullish. We broke this area here, retested it, closed this with what looks like to be a morning star and a nice wick to the upside, which is very likely to get filled. However, since it's again the beginning of the week, I'd like to see a retest of this area here, the 143,500 level. Around that, see testing here, getting some of the liquidity, then having a strong reaction to the upside, to then buy the USD CAD pair. However, what we also see here on the 4 hour is kind of like a head and shoulders pattern with a break and a potential retest now, so it might be a sell to the downside. However, I like to have 2 time frames in sync. At least 2 time frames, which is why we have the weekly here being very bullish. We have the daily being bullish, and even if the 4 hour is bearish, doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to see a declining market here. So I am still very bullish on this pair, but we will see if it's going to give me the entry signals, the price movement that I'm expecting, and then finally my decision if I'm going to take the trade or not. If I took it, I see a potential profit target. First target, of course, the 144.5 level around here, but I do see a lot of potential to this weekly area of interest up here, which is the 1466 level. That's very that's like the final take profit for this position that I would consider. I looked at the other pairs as well, decided not to actively look for any trades so far. I placed some of the alarms. I have a lot of price alarms here, and also placed some alarms on this pair. So I might be actually interested in one of the other pairs as well that I haven't marked with this red flag here. If I'm interested, then only if certain alarms get triggered. For example, we have the break here, we have a retest, then I'm of course interested in buys. As long as I do not get my alarm or any of my signals, I'm not going to be interested in taking any of the other trades. However, those are my top trades for the week. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. If you like, you can join my free Telegram group, which you'll find the link to in the description. You will also find the link to my Instagram in the video description. And as for now, I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next week.